Hello, this is Aftermath again, and we are reading the fanfic that shall not be named. And it is part 3 of that fanfic that shall not be named, and it's probably the weirdest part so far that I've read. And you'll find out later on why that is. But I've only wrapped up part 5, so if there's anything weirder after that, well, I best hope not, because I don't want to see anything else that's just this weird. Okay, so let's see. Part 3, it contains pregnant rarity, of course. Exhibit. Well, I can't pronounce that. Exhibitionism, and that's kind of part of the whole weird part of it, because I think I know exactly what that means. Angry sex, prehensile tale, minor food play still, and base debasement. So anyway, let's get started on this. She's out of the sun for the first time in a long time. After last night's workout, you've reached a critical low on groceries. As you put on your coat to go get food for breakfast, she trots up with a yawn securing her saddle. You look down at her with a mixture of shock and intrigue. She hasn't left the house since she started showing the baby bump. Her sensitivity about her weight and concerns over ladylike fragility had halted all leaving the house. Lately, things have been improving for you two, though. Several nights in a row leading up to some hot, steamy passion, and now this? Her confidence has grown in leaps and bounds. She follows you about the small apartment you share and nuzzles your hand playfully as you search for your keys. Her breath is warm in your hands, and every now and then she giggles and nudges your rear with her horn. Finally, you extract your keys from the pocket of the jacket you set on the kitchen table earlier, and you're out of the door into the brisk morning air. The sun is shining on her white coat, and she hops around with a lively spring in her graceful stride. She's like some sort of newborn filly now, hopping around your legs, bumping against them with her snout, urging you to go more quickly. Hurry, darling. We need to keep the brisk pace. I want to get there right when they open. Just imagine that bread in the bakery. Oh, my stars, it will be simply divine. Don't say that again. You smile and rub her on her head, right behind her ears where she likes it. likes it. She nuzzles her face into your side, and you walk the remaining distance, as the sun creeps up overhead. Your watch says 6:32 when you arrive at the grocery store, but they're just opening the doors as you get to them. A lone pony stands at the checkpoint stand, filing her hooves. You recognize her. She works many hours. Rarity practically skips down the nearest aisle, out of your sight, basket dangling from her mouth. You pause long enough to wave to the checkout mare, and she tiredly waves back. Older body obviously not ready for such early mornings anymore. Good deed done. You hurry down the rows, looking for the pony you entered with, a strong suspicion she'll be in the sweets aisle. Along the way, you pick up some much-needed supplies in your own personal basket, assuming quietly that she hasn't. Your suspicions are confirmed. After last night's debauchery, I don't know what that says, she filled her basket to overflowing with bags of marshmallows. Oh, geez, more marshmallows, making you look like some sort of mother hen with your basket of practical groceries. You come upon her struggling to reach an upper shelf, where a lone packet of hot chocolate mix perches. What? Okay. Chocolate mix perches precariously, ready to fall on her head. Around her horn aglow levitate a few other packets, obviously having fallen during her initial pass. Oh, just little further, little more, come on. You walk up calmly behind her, height playing to her advantage as you lift the packets over her head and back up to the shelf, none too gracefully pressing her up against the shelf as you return them, one by one, to their proper place. Below your leaning body she calls out instructions, obviously distressed at the way you're managing the task. Careful now, yes, that's right. A little to the right, no, left. Oh. With each instruction she squirms under you to get a better view, swollen tummy pressed against the racks, her widened hips and thick flanks rubbing against your pelvis. Memories of 3 hours prior flood back, and you begin to get as hard as you try to get her orders precisely right. Her ears perk up. She feels you pressing into her now. Under you, she ceases her squirming and cranes her neck upward. Are you? Sir? Ma'am? You two need help? The checkout pony looks down the aisle at you from her register. No, we're fine, thank you, dearie, she calls from under you. She thrusts her head back to you, glare accusing. Are you aroused? She pissed up at you. You free up a hand to reach down and squeeze her flank in reply. She snorts in frustration. Honestly, are you a beast? Is that all you think about? Is my body really so? No, it's not. She wiggles her hips deeper against you, and her voice is dropped to a husky whisper. Irresistible? In reply, you flex your trapped member as hard as you can, and blush floods her ivory face right up to the base of her horn. But here, of all places? Come now, that's simply uncivilized. It's absolutely improper, and a lady of my stature simply will not engage in it in any way. Good, 'cause I wouldn't either. You hook your hand down toward your basket, making it look like you're reaching for another of the fallen packets, and slowly trail your fingers up the inside of her leg, until your hand is under her saddle. Oh, jeez. Why the heck am I so gross in this story, man? I'm not usually this freaking, I don't know how to call it, but, I'm usually not this, whatever, come on. I'm just gonna keep continuing. You can feel the heat coming off of her. She's just as aroused, maybe more. Testing the water, you rub her lips with your finger and find them to be moist. What are you doing? Her hissed words are angry, but her voice has risen a little bit in pitch, unable to contain the shock of pleasure. This is simply barbaric. Are you some sort of dog? I don't even know anymore. Prepared for a playful response, you hump up against her, still leaning figure, clenching a handful of thick, soft flank with your now moist hands. She feels her own wetness on her and sighs, trying to squirm away. Her efforts dislodge, and the packets you carefully positioned on top once more. They and several other sweets tumble down, soda bottles bursting and fizzing all over both of you. She stands there, looking at you, and twitches slightly. More packets tumble down, and their contents burst dusty into the air, coating her soda-dripped mane and hair, as well as your clothes in the stuff. A sniffle escapes her, and she whimpers as things settle, and the checkout mirror hurries over to both of you. Are you two all right? Good heavens, I've not seen such a never mind. I need to get a mop. Please, just stay here. I'll only be a moment. And she discovered what we were doing, and it's pretty creepy. And she gallops off out of sight. But that's not the strange part. It's coming up, alright? Leaving you with one very dirty, very unpleased unicorn. This is my day out. This? Her voice is shrill, high-pitched. She's shivering, and her saddle is stained in dripping soda. You help her out of it as she stands rigid and shocked. You pull off your coat and shirt, struggling for something to dry her hair with, finding only your undershirt dry. Decency gone at this point. You strip it off and towel her hair. And just what did you think you were doing? In a public place? Do you want me to be some sort of laughingstock? You've succeeded, you know. Why, I ought to. She breaks off, voice cracking. With a whimper, as you finish toweling her off and hug her apologetically. This is what you want, isn't it? She manages this latest accusation from inside your muffling embrace, and you lower your face to her and kisses her cheek, and licking some of the soda from it with a smile that you hope will bring her mood up. She sighs and shivers again, licking some of the soda from her shoulder, or your shoulder. I just won't leave the house anymore. That's what I'll do. I'll just stay there, and you can live with that guilt. You rub her shoulders reassuringly, trying to find something to comfort her. She nuzzles her head below your stomach again. I'll just sit there, and you can come home from work and have your way with me. It's what you want, right? I'll just sit there, and you'll just fill me up with all these babies. Goodness. Now, goodness knows you don't see me as anything else. Getting an erection in a place like this, or in like a dash. Her voice is cut off as your member swells again at this conversation piece. And you mentally plead with your Y-boner to go away before she notices. Never heard that word before, Y-boner. It's too late, of course. That, you dirty fiend. She pushes you away with her forehooves and whips around, tail flourishing dramatically. Fine, have it your way. Now, right now, look at me wet and take me. Oh my god, but that's not the strange part. You look at her as if she's gone mad. I mean it. You see me as nothing more than some sex object. I might as well be a sex object. Get over with it. Get it over with. You sigh, face embedded in your palm. Everything somehow going a million times more wrong than you could have guessed it would when you left the house. I'll leave you. You look up. Right now, I'll leave this whole thing if you don't do it. Use me. Right now. Right now. Lick me. The absurdity... Wait. Oh. That's the end. The absurdity of the request hangs in the air as she suddenly shouts at you angrily. I'm your strumpet, yes? Your whore? Then do it. Lick me. You look around quickly and tentatively. Lick her outer lips. She tastes the soda and chocolate now. And she angrily pushes herself back as soon as you make contact, giving you an unexpected mouthful of her womanhood. Your tongue is deep now, and she tastes more familiar and expected. You work it around in her, slowly becoming oblivious to everything around you. Your hand grab handfuls of slick, sticky flank as you bury your tongue in her nether regions, eliciting reluctant moans between angry growls. Her tail flicks between her legs, around her swollen belly, and pulls down your zipper expertly, after several fumbling attempts to find it. The cocoa powder has begun to stick into her fur, and she's got your jeans halfway off when you hear a clatter from the entrance to the aisle. Oh God, here it comes. You look over, the checkout mare has dropped her mop. You're unsure of how long she's been there, but one hoof is now reaching under her apron, and she's sprawled against the corner of the aisle, watching you both with intense interest. Oh jeez, and you know what's coming up next, right? Here's the weird part coming up. Rarity notices and yelps, but it's too late. She wanted to be the strumpet, and she's getting what she asked for. Yeah, that's the way to pick your words right, Rarity. You push her top half to the ground, and grips handfuls of ample belly and chest, thrusting into her with your hard member. From the aisle corner, a half-mouthed, half-whisper reaches your ears. Oh yes, slap her plump rump, oomph. Like, oh my god, really, who frickin' would actually walk onto an aisle and just see that and just start frickin' playing with themselves? Like, really? Who has this fantasy? Like, my god. I don't see anyone ever doing that. If they did, I don't know, just frickin' my brain will explode if I ever see it. And I just don't know anymore. I just don't believe this story. It's freaking screwed up. Oh my god, and I have to continue. Once I start, I can't stop, man. I just can't. You oblige, the checkout mare, the slap resounding through the otherwise empty store. Rarity's ears perk up as she hears you take the instructions, and she deftly swivels, pulling you with her to face the prone pony. I'm his whore. Me. Keep your words to yourself. I'm the one he stuffs with cock. I'm the one who has his baby. I'm the one who he feeds to sleep. Me. I'm his fucking slut. I'm his... Oh. Her voice reaches... Oh my god, that sound. If you don't know, I can hear myself. I have it on playback or whatever. This just sounded so funny when I did that. Her voice reaches a high pitch as you slam into her with all your pelvic might. I'm his fucking slut. Yes. Yes. Jeez, then, Bison. Her tongue lolls. Wait. Oh, her tongue lolls out of her mouth, and she's panting as you pick up the pace. God dang, so much peas. Checkout mare staring at you both as you stare back at her. Rarity shifts onto her side, jealousy taking her. pulling you down to her level and hiking up her legs so that you can keep pounding. I'm your special one, right? Me? Just me? You nod furiously, crashing your lips into hers, forcing your tongue into her mouth, pumping vigorously all the while, sending huge oceanic waves of jiggling flesh throughout her body. Give me it. Give me it all. Give me all of it. Oh, come on. Give me all of it. It's mine. She wriggles desperately as you thrust, and wriggles free just as you climax. Oh my god. I remember this part now. This is also another strange part. Your seed sprays everywhere up the aisle like a loose cannon, across the floor and onto the face of the lucky checkout mare, both hooves furiously at work on her sopping privates. Oh my god. That kind of reminds me if there's this freaking this other reading some guy made. It was like it's called When Mario Decides to Take a Shit or something, and it's just so funny because like on this one part he's like Mario ends up peeing in Luigi for you know how dogs mark the territory. And it's funny because in the middle of it he goes like, and somehow and Luigi accidentally got some of his pee in his mouth. It's just kind of funny because it's just, you know, yeah, it kind of sounds like it's accidentally, but it's on purpose. That's a screwed up one right there. Anyone who's reading this, I am freaking, I don't know what the word for it. I just want you to watch that because I'm sure if you're screwed up to watch this, you're going to want to go watch that. So go ahead. There's your, there's another thing you can watch after this. Rarity squeals in protest, slamming her tongue to the floor, looking fiercely at the tiles where your sperm runs scattered. Jesus, Rarity. I mean, I know I'm freaking awesome, but I don't think my sperm's that tasty. I mean, jeez. She reaches the mare and harumphuses. I don't know what that means. I guess it's a noise, but whatever. Licking the female's body over and over until the last drops are on her tongue. Oh yeah, and it's kind of made it sound weird. Like, how would I know that what mine tastes like? Trust me, I don't eat it. Nah. But anyway, well, I would never know. I mean, I guess it is that good because, you know, I'm awesome, but no, geez, I just can't imagine this. She walks back up, tongue out. You're come over it. Come covering it. Jeez, two C's that sound the same. And then gulps it down, staring up at you. You look around at the mess and scoop her into your arms as you kneel there, kissing her head and hair. From inside your embrace, you hear her happy giggling. 2 hours later, the shop is cleaned up and bustling. You walk it through the checkout, the mare bagging your things wordlessly, and hit the street with your newly bought groceries. Yeah, I'm sure. I guess the checkout mare right there is just like, oh, that was awkward. Rarity snuggles up to you against the cold, both of your clothes still damp and clinging to you. About what I said earlier, darling. You look down at her, rubbing her hair reassuringly. Please, dear, please. I need you to know that I understand. I was just a bit worked up by the situation. And I said something that no pony will have any grace should say. Well, besides the obvious, of course, but that I never meant that. I don't care if you already know, but it's only improper to say it out loud. I'd never leave. I couldn't ever leave you, whether it's as your concubine or your wife. She trails off and looks at you, morning sun catching her big sapphire eyes. She manages to mouth 3 words you know too well, and you mouth back that same phrase. She nuzzles into your side, please, and you resume the walk home. Oh my god, finally part 3 is done. I'm glad that's like the shortest part so far. Okay, and then there's part 4, which is going to be very, it's going to be intense, okay? I can actually finally think of a word. But, yeah, finally that, and, you know, the last 3 words doesn't really repair the brain damage that I just got from that part. You know, it might be sweet to hear those 3 words, but Jesus, what the fuck just happened in that story? I mean, my God, you got freaking screwing in a store, and then the checkout mare comes into you like, oh, I'm gonna beat off to this. Like nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna lose my job or anything when the boss finds out. Hell, maybe he'll come over here and just like jack off all over my face. So anyway, that's part 3, and I'm gonna be like scared now to go into grocery stores, thinking that there's gonna be like someone screwing in there, and then who knows? I might go jack off to that too. I'm probably the checkout mayor eventually. But anyway, that not happening. So sorry for the picture, but I'll see you guys later on part 4. Peace.